Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you tuned in from. My name is Deborah, your host as usual. And we are so thrilled to see you here. We are so thrilled to see you on our platform today as we are going to also talk to you about a topic that we have titled Trauma and Relationships. As you all know, we have our own Bullrun therapist nowadays, our Queen Jane. So community, stay tuned. As you stay tuned, also want to also notify you that our tweets are out. Let's also engage with them just after this session. Let's continue to engage with them. So let's also invite others as we start. Invite others. Just let them know, be it in our group, be it on our Facebook. Just let them know that our session has started. I just want to thank you all for tuning in already today. So I have my beautiful Queen Jane. Queen Jane, you can greet our viewers today.
Hello, Bullrun family. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are tuned in from. From me is a very, very hearty welcome. Let's be educated, inspired, and informed together. Welcome.
Thank you, my queen. So, community, we have our beautiful Queen Jane Mugo. She's a mother, a pastor, a family and marriage therapist, and also an author. So she's becoming our own Bullrun therapist also. So we have a therapist in our midst. So let's utilize her presence actually. So she's from Nairobi, Kenya. She's a proudly a Bullrunner, and she is here also to help us to navigate in things of life, as we are here to celebrate us as survivor, either women or as a man, whatever you survived along the past life or what you are surviving right now. That's why we are bringing you this life-changing opportunities and topics that may also help you in your day-to-day lives as we navigate this life. So, my queen, I'll introduce you to come and just introduce our topic. You can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Queen Debbie. And one of the things that I can say, even as I introduce the topic, is to appreciate our Queen Mother and our developer, King Steve, because of giving us an opportunity not only to grow through investing on the Bullrun ecosystem, but also to be made whole through the lessons that we are learning on this platform. We have been given the airtime to not only improve economically when we make that choice, but also to improve and become whole people by healing the wounds that we may have acquired along the life's journey. So today we are going to talk about something that is very deep, and very sensitive and very important. And the idea here is not to blame, it's not to put anyone on the carpet, it's just the information as it is. And I am hoping that it's going to be helpful to someone. So we shall be interacting with something that we have mentioned before. We shall be talking about trauma and how trauma affects relationships. And particularly today, our focus will be on we are calling ourselves survivors. We are women. We are mothers. So how has your journey affected the way you relate with your children? So today, specifically, we are going to look at issues which are relating to how we relate with our children. And we have said we are talking about how trauma affects relationships. And today we shall focus on something I'm calling individuation. Individuation. I'll be describing that in a few. So how trauma affects the process of individuation. I'll be describing that and how it shapes parent-child relationships, often well into adulthood. So individuation is something that I'm going to talk about. And when we see a person who is individuated, we need not to worry. For instance, as a parent, I need not to worry that my child is well individuated. That's not rebellion. it is maturity. Individuation is the journey a human being is supposed to follow from childhood to maturity. Maturity may not necessarily be measured by number of years. It is the emotional, the capability to do several things that we shall be able to see in this topic. Yes, that is what we shall be talking about today, Queen Debbie.
Thank you so much, Queen Jane, for introducing that amazing topic. I can't wait to hear from you. I can't wait also to learn as our community members are also learning. So, Queens and Kings, let's fasten our belts as our Queen is going to take us through this this topic. This is an amazing topic. These are our things that we are going through in our day-to-day life. So let's just tune in and stay focused and stay informed. So, my Queen, what is individuation?
Thank you, Queen David. That's a big name. It's a big name. Individuation. Individuation is the healthy development process through which a child becomes a separate, whole person while still remaining emotionally connected to their caregivers and others in their environment. So when we talk about individuation, we are saying that when a child is born, they move towards their adult journey, and in that path, in the path of that development process, in the path of growing up, they need to become a separate individual. Separate in the sense that, when we raise a child and they are an adult, we don't want to live with them in our lives forever. We would want them to move away and become themselves, create their own space, live their own lives. That's what individuation is, a separate whole person. And the word whole is very important. So individuation is racing, or it's a process of a child goes through to become a separate human being and a whole person while still remaining emotionally connected. The fact that we are saying they are separate and whole does not mean they don't remain connected with the caregivers, their parents, their brothers, their sisters, whoever else in their life. It doesn't mean they are disconnected. It's that they are able to live separately, but also have healthy connections with the other people that are in their lives. So when we talk about individuation, we are actually talking about the process of a child learning, and we are going to connect this with the parenting. So don't worry if we talk about much about the children, but we want to see how you yourself have grown and how your growth process impacts your parenting. Yes, so this individuation is the process of learning a few things. Number one, I am me, and you are you. I can be able to know that I am me and you are you. I don't get lost in the crowd. I'll give several examples as we go along. It's a process of learning. I can belong. I can be in a crowd, mix with people, laugh with them, but still be me. I can love my parents without losing my identity. So this actually, we call it in another word, differentiation of self. I know I am me, Jane, and I can also be lost in some other people. I can be able to laugh with them. I can enjoy their space. I can interact with people. I can feel free to be with others. In healthy development, individuals allow a child, if you are raising a child, then in a healthy development process, the child develops to develop their own thoughts and emotions. They become themselves. Do you know there are children who are not allowed to think for themselves? We shall see. They develop their own thoughts and emotions. They make age-appropriate decisions. Very important to allow children to make their own decisions, to feel safe expressing disagreement, and grow into independence without fear or guilt. So when a child is raised and they are able to differentiate themselves, then they are able to develop their own thoughts and emotions. I don't want to preempt before we get there, but they're able to develop their own thoughts and emotions. They are able to make age-appropriate decisions. A child can be able to say, this is what I want. A child can be able to say, this is what I feel about this particular issue. They can be able to say, I am myself and I'm not afraid of being me. You know, they are not afraid of being themselves, grow into independence without fear. So that's a very important part of the development of a human being, because this part of individuation is the one that now comes into adulthood to have all the transactions. We have the parenting part. So how does a parent transact with their child or children when they grow up? We can see a lot which is related to the individuation process. And we shall relate this with trauma as we go along. So that is what I would say about the individuation process, what it is.
Wow, thank you so much for letting us know what it means. We didn't know that. That's the name that is given to us when we are growing from being from a child to become a adult, or becoming somebody who is going to be able to take decision on your own and all that from the family. And we all grew up like that, whereby there's a time whereby you need to make your own decisions, and your parents, you just respect that because you're now grown up. So I think we need to get into deeper of this, and how does a parent help in this individuation process?
Wow, that's a very, very important question, Queen Debbie. First, maybe I can take you through the process of a child developing from the womb. So when a child is conceived, they grow in the womb and they are attached to the mother, and they stay there for 9 months until the child is born. So when the child is born, they are supposed to be helped to become separate individual, a separate individual who can live on their own. So the parenting, the caregiving of a child is now a journey. It's also an attachment. The child was attached in the womb, but even when they come out of the womb, they are supposed to go through that journey of remaining attached to the parent. And that's why you see, we say children are defined by many constitutions. Many countries consider a child is up to 18 years. I don't know in your country how it is, but in our country, you
Yeah,
are a child until 18 years. When you get to 18, that is when now you can get a national ID. So through that journey, a person is still a child, and they are being helped to individuate by their parent. So that parent-child relationship is very, very important. And the parent or caregiver is the one who facilitates the process of individuation. Through that, we are calling attachment. The child is attached in the womb and attached when they come out of the womb. They are still attached to the parent for 9 months, and then 18 years after that. I had a friend who was a lawyer we were with in school, and she was saying government should pay parents for taking care of the children. And then when they have grown up, they ask them to start paying taxes to the government. So can you imagine, the parent is the one who has to do the job of raising the child. So in this journey, we can look at the process of attachment, how the parent influences this child, so that when they grow up, they can be well individuated or poorly individuated. Now, we say there are 4 ways in which a child can touch with a parent. So there are 4 different types of relationships that parents can have with their children. We can have 4 categories of parents. The first parent, okay, first of all, let me explain what attachment is. I said attachment in the womb. Now you have an image, an idea of what I mean. So when the child is born, attachment styles are largely shaped. How a child attaches and becomes well individuated is largely dependent on the type of relationship they had with the parent or caregiver. So this is what happens. A child, when a baby is born, they don't know how to talk. They have no language. They don't know how to express themselves so that their needs are met. So they do it through non-verbal cues. A mother knows a child is thirsty, a child is hungry. They know they want a diaper change just through those non-verbal cues. A mother will not need to consult a doctor to know their child is sick. They are non-verbal cues. Now, when a mother responds to those non-verbal cues, a child cries, the mother is able to respond and be able to connect with the child, comfort them, change their diapers, just have a connection with the child. That child grows up knowing the world is a safe place. And as an adult, they are going to be positively impacted. And I will tell you how that happens. So an infant communicates their feelings by sending nonverbal signals, such as crying, cooing, later pointing, and smiling. So they can be able to do those things when they don't have the language. So when the caregiver responds to what they are saying, then they know the world is a safe place and they are able to become well individuated. So the success of the process of attachment isn't impacted by just the relationship between the mother and the child. There are also other factors. There are environmental factors, like how wealthy or poor a person grows up, how much education, where they come from, their ethnicity, what is their culture. All those things are factors that can affect the individuation process. So the personality of that person and the experiences they gain along the journey of life, all those are factors that can affect the design of attachment in an individual. So I said we have four types of attachment. The first one is secure, where a parent is able to respond to the needs of the child when they are growing up. So that one, the parent is able to respond. Then we see that when a person grows up, because when they had that a safe environment, secure environment, a responsive parent, then they are able to become people who can empathize, people who can feel with you, not sympathize, people who can be able to get into your shoes. We talk about getting into your shoes. As somebody who has feelings, somebody who is human, they can connect with you. They're able to set appropriate boundaries as well, because they grew up knowing that they can be supported safely, and they were helped to know how far they can go and how far they cannot. So people with secure attachment style tend to feel safe. They are stable. They are more satisfied in their close relationships. So a mother who was securely attached when they were growing up will also be able to parent their child in the same way, because they are just using the template that they grew up knowing. That's the same way they are going to parent their child. Then the next one is anxious attachment style. Now, this one is the parent who was inconsistent. They were inconsistent. They can laugh. Now they can laugh, but the next moment they'll just be shouting at the child. They'll be violent. They'll beat. It's very inconsistent. The child gets confused. They don't know what side of the parent to trust. So sometimes the parent is engaged. Sometimes they are responsive. Sometimes the child can trust the father, the caregiver. Let me just say the caregiver, because caregivers can be both men or women. Other times they are available. Let's go back to the child who is not having a language. They are crying, they have a need. So they can be left to cry for a long time. Then they become anxious. They don't know whether they is going to be taken care of. And then some other times they can cry because they have needs and they can be taken care of. So it becomes very confusing for that child. They become anxious. Might I be abandoned? And now look at an adult like that. They are going to transfer the same things to their parenting. They are going to use the same template when they are parenting. Then the other one, the third one is avoidant, dismissive. A parent, a child who is raised by a parent who was unavailable or rejecting during infancy. A child who is, the parent is not available. I've just remembered a case of a young woman who came to therapy. And she described her story and I was amazed. There are some things that you hear and you think that you are listening to a movie. And she told me that I don't know what had happened to the father, but the young woman was raised by her mother. And the mother was busy, very busy. And so she's fending for them. So whatever businesses she would do, she would come home late. And this girl, as a young girl, used to wait at the window. And she would peep and wait until she hears the mother open the gate or the door. And then she would go to sleep without talking to the mother because she was anxious. She was anxious. The mother was never available. And by the way, Queen Debbie, children who lose one parent get affected when the other parent is not available. They get affected and they always have that fear of, might this parent who is alive also die and leave them? So these children can become avoidant, dismissive. They are so wary of closeness. They don't want someone to be close to them. They try to avoid emotional connection with others. They would rather not rely on others or have others rely on them because that is what they learned. They learned that those adults might not be trustworthy in terms of giving them emotional connection. And the last one is disorganized. This one is the one that is going to give us the real connection to what we are talking about today. So disorganized or disoriented attachment style, this one is a child who is raised by a parent who, if a child experienced abuse if they were growing up, you may try to replicate the same abusive patterns of behavior as an adult. So if you were raised as a child and you experienced abuse, you know those children who are beaten because they were sent to the shop and they came back home and they lost the change. They lost a little change that they were supposed to bring back, and then they are beaten. The child is beaten. That's abusive, and many other forms of abuse that we can or we have even been mentioning in previous sessions. So a child who grows up in an abusive environment, then they also carry the same. They carry the same, and they release that on their children. And as we go along, we shall see the manifestations of that abuse, the trauma that the parent accumulated as they were growing up. They carry it, and it manifests in different ways. So adults with this insecure attachment tend to feel they don't deserve love or closeness in a relationship. And by the way, this thing is huge because even when we come to marital relationships, people will still be operating with these traumas that they carried from their childhood. You find marital relationships are not functioning because of the traumas that somebody is carrying from, we call them attachment injuries. So there is a lot that one can carry from their childhood that can impact on their parenting. There is a lot that one can carry. And then you find that there are things that are going wrong with the children, and it's not because those children are bad, but because there is something that I, as a parent, did not know about myself. And as a result, I carried it and I started using it. And now it is impacting my children. Queen Deby, you find that although we will say that so many things are affecting our young men, I don't know how it is in your place, but you find a young man who is 30, 40, a young man. Last session, I was telling you that there's a young man who raised down his mother's house in one of our counties because he asked the mother for 100 shillings and she did not give. A 40-year-old man. So we'll have a number of things that will not go right because these people were not allowed to individuate when they were growing up. And it is because we have baggage that we have carried that we are now using as we are raising our own children. Yes, I take a break as you ponder on that.
Yeah, we are learning, my queen, because truly speaking, we are all I think we are just we are all subjects of what you are talking about, the traumas, it's we have anxieties, you are anxious and all those. It's true because we are coming from from different backgrounds. At the end of the day, how we were raised is totally different, and it's also one of the things that you need to take care of, especially now as we are learning right now that there are things that really affected us from the past that we are actually very afraid of doing, or of getting closer to people, afraid of them being able to leave you again, just like maybe your parents did, all those things. So you need to know how to balance it, how you can be able to resurface again and start all over, and be able to come closer to people, or to come to trust people and all that. That one is already one thing that I also personally, I don't want to lie, I also not personally suffered, because I was raised with a single parent. So I'm always afraid. I don't put people close. I'm always very, very afraid of one day they will leave. They will leave me just like they did in the past. So now getting to understand what we are talking about, it's really helping me also to just know that, what, some of the things, yesterday my mom was talking to me about something, and she told me something that was very, very powerful. She said, whatever that you're going through, it was supposed to be like that. You do not blame people who left you. Do not blame people they did not do things for you. It was supposed to be like that. With the moment you understand that it was supposed to be like that, you are now able to stand on your destiny. You are able to stand and be yourself on your destiny. So I think we are also learning, and I'm also thanking so much Mom, Queen Mother. She's helping me in this journey so very much. So you can continue, my queen, as we connect between what is trauma, the connection between trauma and individuation. These two, how do they connect?
How does trauma connect with individuation? So yeah, one of the things that I really have to keep on on appreciating is the fact that we have the best opportunity to learn, that we are not just about investments, we are also about human growth. We as an ecosystem, we are not just about dealing with the investments and all that. We are also about human growth, because we need to enjoy what we gain from the investment peacefully. We need to enjoy that. And we are not here just for ourselves. We are here also for generations. So we need to keep on improving ourselves in different ways. And I want to just highlight how trauma disrupts individuation. So when trauma happens in an individual, when now that child grows up, this child who has gone through the secure attachment, all the attachments that we have described, if a child gets traumatized when they were growing up, and we say trauma is an emotional wound. Trauma is a wound. And if that wound is not healed, then you can imagine how a wound which is not healed and it is taken a long time becomes septic. So when I get married with an emotional wound, that I came with from my childhood, then you can imagine I am wounded and I am going to pass the same woundedness to others. So you become a mother when you already have acquired enough wounds. And I want to share a little bit. I'm not ashamed to share my story in bits. I'm not ashamed to share my story. I lost my mom when I was 13 years. And that loss was major. It was a very major loss for me. Why? Because this is a mother who was my friend. I had related with her very closely. In fact, if that death would happen today, unfortunately, it did many years ago, I think it would be such a big loss for me. But it was a big loss for me at 13, a very big loss. I lost a friend. Somehow, looking back, because of my birth position, I came after 4 boys. There were others who were older, but I was born after 4 boys. So I grew up with 3 of them. One passed away. I grew up with 3 of them, and I was bullied. So the person who was my best friend was my mother. And for some reason, my mother used to say something, and I feel it really hits my heart deep. And that is what will sustain me. So now she dies when I'm 13, and she's the mother we used to sing songs with. She's the mother who taught me faith. She's the mother who spoke to my life as a little girl. And then she dies. That was very traumatic for me. I did not heal until I went to high school. Now, many years after, when I was married and I had all my children, I kept on talking about my mother. I could break down. In fact, even not more than 5 years ago, I think just before my son, I think about 6 or 7 years ago, it looks like yesterday, my son, I found my son watching TV, and he was watching programs about Mother's Day. And I broke down and cried. But now, going back to parenting and the wounds, I came into marriage with my wounds. And after doing psychology is when I discovered the many wrong things I did when I was parenting my children. So the idea of correcting those mistakes when they are already done, it is good that there is that opportunity to correct. But if somebody can know how not to do, then you can give these children you are raising a better opportunity to individuate, or what it's also called differentiation of self. They can grow and know that they are different. They are different individuals. So we can perpetuate the pain. Mothers, queens, and kings can perpetuate the pain sometimes without knowing. I didn't know. And I have seen parents who also do the same. They don't know. So your wounds, your traumas, your pains, you carry them as you parent. So the things you do, how you relate to your child, is informed by the way you were raised. And we replicate the same kind of wounds in our children. So trauma interrupts the natural process of individuation. A wounded caregiver who has not healed from their own childhood trauma can transfer their pain to their child or children and affect their individuation process. It can be, you can find a parent who is very controlling. I am telling you things. I know of a man who was married, and that man never ever did anything without consulting the mother. Without consulting the mother. I will tell you, they could not do anything without consulting the mother. And his wife kept on complaining. These are people who are very well known to me. His wife kept on complaining because this man will come from, he works outside the country, he comes home, the wife is expecting him, but the first landing is his mother's house. That is a problem of differentiation or individuation. It's the same word. It's the same thing. Individuation or differentiation of self is the same thing. So that's a person who is not differentiated. They are not differentiated. They don't know who they are. They are lost in their mother. And that influence came from the mother's experience, and now they are processing their own wounds by manipulating their child. I don't know how deep this is, Deb. I
Yeah,
don't know. So a mother
it's
who was abused, a mother who was
mm-hmm.
abused can control it. They can control their children. Let me give you an example. A mother who
Mm-hmm.
was sexually abused, and or a mother who became pregnant before she, she was not ready, or she was abused and then sexually abused, and then maybe she conceived. They will live with the wound and the fears. And you know what? When they have children, when they have daughters, those daughters will not have freedom. Most of them will control their children. Don't go here, don't do this, don't do that. I already know a case. I know real people who are there. They cannot allow their daughters cannot leave the house. They cannot go anywhere because of what themselves they went through. I can tell you, mothers who do not allow their sons, hey, these stories are too many. They don't allow their sons to do anything without consulting them. You have to come and tell me what you are doing. There are people who have bound their children because of the experiences that they themselves went through. They have not dealt with the pain. They have not dealt with their traumas. And the Bible says in Galatians 5:1, it is for freedom that Christ died for us. But these people are not allowing their children to experience freedom in its fullness because they are carrying baggages and they want to be helped to carry those baggages by their children. And as a result, they just cut off the process of individuation for the child. Some children become parentified. There is something we call parentified. So let me give you an example of a male child. They become parentified. Uh, uh, the eldest male child is the one who is seen as the father. So they are given all the responsibilities of a father, especially if a mother is single. And I have nothing against the mothers. We're just talking. You find that child, a son, is not able to make any decisions because they have to talk. They have to do what the mother is saying because the mother sees them as the father of the house. And sometimes it's not because they shouldn't do that, but there is an extent to which they should be released to go so that they can also be themselves, they can individuate. But they are bound by the parental responsibilities that are given unto them. So unhealed trauma creates attachment without freedom. So I can be attached to my parent. Right now, there is a case I've been listening to. The mother is very, very abusive. And these are believers, but they have decided the last 6 months they have not talked to their mother because of that control. They would want to do things for themselves. They have their own family. They have their own things they are doing. But the mother is controlling. And she's saying, I'm the center of authority in this home. So their father died, but the mother is alive. So you can see how the process of individuation is impacted by trauma in a parent who has not processed what they went through. Yes, over to you.
Oof, wow, we are learning. We are learning because we are all becoming mothers, we are mothers in waiting and we are learning
Mhm.
from what you're saying. And what I'm getting from what all you are saying right now is we need to heal from our past traumas. We need to heal from our current traumas, so that we are able to move, and we are able to maybe to interact with others, and to be able to stand and do other things. We need to heal first. So
Mm.
which means, if we have traumas, we it can affect us in our next life, or in our next parental life, because of what we did not heal from the past. We are carrying it to another generation. So as you're
Mhm.
saying, I'm like, oof, these are some of the things that my mom was telling me yesterday. Like, you need to heal from the past things, because where you are going, it's another generation. If you don't, you are just passing on to another generation. So
Mm.
exactly as you say it, like, we need to heal from these traumas, so that we are able to separate ourselves as individuals. So thank you so much, my queen. We are learning, we are learning each and every day, and we thank you so much for just helping us to learn. So how does trauma affects the individuation process? How does it affect the individuation process?
Yes. Let's look at it more and see how it affects. So, how trauma affects individuation. So, let's talk about common trauma responses. When now we find a parent who has come into family life with their own traumas, what do we expect to see? What can we point at and say this one is as a result of probably things that have happened in their life? So let's talk about some common trauma responses that interfere with the depression. So when a parent is not able to deal with their own trauma, there are certain outcomes that we can see. Number one, they struggle to release control. They struggle to release their child. Can you imagine? A man releases their daughter to get married to a certain young man, but he is the one who is still controlling how this girl lives her life. If she is sick, he runs there to take the daughter to hospital. So how will this child become themselves? Will they run their family? How many years is this man going to be there to be the one taking charge of her daughter's family affairs? And yet the daughter is married. You can see that. So when a parent is not able to deal with their own trauma, these are the outcomes. First of all, they struggle to release control over that child. They want to have the child in their home, and the child is like tied. There is a rope tied on their leg. You can go, but not very far. You know, the way Pharaoh was telling the Israelites, you go and don't go
Israelites.
very far. Yeah. So they struggle to release control. Then the child becomes an adult, but they are a child. You know, the child is an adult, but they are a child because they have not known how to individuate. They don't know how to differentiate themselves from their parents. They don't know. So you have infantile or we infantilize adult children. They remain children. You know, the other day, Queen Deby, I was amazed. My last born has had a lot of struggles because when he was born, he developed a few challenges, health conditions, and it has been a journey. So the other day we were talking, I was telling him, after the bull run, we shall no longer have these challenges that we are going through. And he listened and listened without interrupting. And then he told me, Mom, even with all that, I want to make my own money. And I was jumping inside, but outside I was still, you know, because I felt that child is telling me something. I want to be me. I appreciate what you are giving, but I want me. I want something for myself. And I was very proud of that boy. He has gone through a lot, and now he's coming up. So I can tell you, we don't need to raise adults who are children. And that's why you'll find a 40-year-old in their mother's house. Because as a parent, I never allowed them to become themselves, to have their own dreams, you know, to have their own aspirations. So then this child who is now an adult also feels threatened by dependence. They have no idea how they can live on their own. They just want to rotate around the family. They can get bread and butter and everything they need. They don't want to live. They cannot have that independence. And then we also have guilt, fear, or obligation to maintain closeness. The child grows up because I am traumatized. I was traumatized, and I have not dealt with my own roots. I've not allowed my children to live and become themselves. I've not allowed them to grow and individuate. Then I use guilt, fear, or obligation to maintain closeness. Have you seen? I was watching a movie here about mother-in-law, and that mother-in-law is the kind that goes to their son's house, and they want to possess the whole house. Because I raised you, now I have to be here. I have to use, this is my son-in-law's house. You know, my son's house, and terrorizes the wife to the son until that marriage is destroyed. So using guilt, using fear, showing that this son must take care of me because I am the mother, and I have to keep on saying, am I not your mother? That is using guilt to control these children. So there are a number of things. I was just describing that, but let me tell you something. The words that will help you to remember. The first way we know that there is something that went on that is affecting the parenting when we see enmeshment. Enmeshment is, you are an adult, you cannot make your own decisions because the family where you live, they do not allow you to make your own decision. I have my own fears. I have my own struggles, my own wounds that are not healed. And they inform me that, and if you make your own decision, you need to confirm with me. I'm the only right person that you can consult. So there are some people who have grown up in families that are enmeshed. I am doing this to show you enmeshed. They are just enmeshed. They don't allow you to go out to consult other people. You have to consult within the family. Within the family. That is a result of a parent who they didn't individuate themselves. So they are just close. So this happens when emotional boundaries between parent and child are blurred. The child feels responsible for the parent's happiness, moods, or well-being. So they cannot go out. They cannot, if they want to buy a piece of land, they have to come back and consult with the parent. If they want to do this, they have to come back and consult with the parent. It becomes a problem. Then you also find the child is unable to become independent. Independence feels dangerous. They experience guilt for choosing their own path. I was shocked to hear a story of a mother who shares a phone with a son in this generation. This thing is private. I mean, I'm an adult. You don't even come to my space, my room. I'm an adult. You don't, by the way, when we say that the adult begins at 13. So when your child is 13, that's a story for another day. When the child is 13 and onwards until they get married, if they are living within their space, respect them. They are called emerging adults. So we need to respect them. So this person who is an adult, I need to know how to deal with my own pain and let the other person, I don't need to transfer my pain and by controlling them. And even checking which girlfriend talks to you. A person who is an adult, 30, 25, any number of years, 25, 30, 40. You know, there are still 40-year-olds who are living in their mothers. So let the person individuate, let the person be themselves, let them enjoy their space, let them enjoy their relationships. We have the freedom of association. Let them enjoy whatever they feel is good, but remain a parent and tentatively, respectively, discuss with them what is important, what you think you need to do. Leadership is influence. So I will not stop being a leader. I will not stop influencing my children even when I'm old, but I can let them be, and we can have a relationship of respect and honor with one another. So let them make their own decisions. Let them make decisions and fail. Let them make decisions and make good decisions. Let them relate with whoever they want. I can only point from a distance what I think is not right, and I do it with a lot of respect, so that I can help my children to develop autonomy. Autonomy. The just being me, the individuation thing that we are talking about. Then you can also see where there is that where we have trauma. Trauma can affect relationships, parent-child relationship, because the way my words will help me to interact with my children in the wrong way, so to speak, so that they develop a false self. Separating emotionally feels like abandonment. So they remain emotionally, financially, and spiritually dependent. Remember this case I was talking about, a man, a 40-year-old man, who is depending on sorry. Hey, sorry, somebody was calling. Sorry. I was talking about a case of a man who is 40 years old, and he is still depending on his mother. And he asked the mother for 100 shillings. And because the mother couldn't give the 100 bob, what did he do? He raised a whole house. By the way, the house is an old house built in a very big space, in the village. And it's a house that was built a long time ago. It looks very expensive. If you were to build that house like that today, the carved stones, it's an expensive house. But the guy didn't care, just raised the house, because there is something that he was not able to do when he was growing up. He was not able to separate emotionally. Separating emotionally feels like abandonment. So he stays in his mother's house. 40, remain emotionally, financially, or spiritually dependent, asking the mother for 100 bob. And when that money is not given, he decides he doesn't have what you call emotional regulation. He cannot know how to control his anger. So then we have the fear of disappointing their parents. There are people who are adults, but they struggle with the fear of disappointing their parents more than dishonoring themselves. They are not able to live their own lives. They are not able to live their own lives. They live pleasing their parents or their caregivers. They are not able to individuate. Instead of becoming who they truly are, the child becomes who the parents need them to be. By the way, Queen Debbie, have you heard of a parent who takes their children to school and they tell them, because I am a doctor, I want you to also become a doctor? And the child goes to school and they study the doctor thing that the father or the mother had said. And when they finish, they come and bring the certificate. This is a certificate. I brought it for you. Now you can pay me. You can pay for me what I wanted to do. How devastating that is. But that's a child who is on another level, who is able to differentiate. They know what they want. But you see, they were forced to do what they don't want. So the impact on the individual is great. The person can also grow feeling shame. They internalize the belief that something is wrong with me. They grow up thinking that they are the ones who have a problem, and they are only trying to survive in that environment. So something is wrong with me. I am too much or not enough. That's what the child grows up feeling, because the traumas in the parents have impacted them until their self-image, or the process of self-individuation, is affected. Yes, so that's it. It's a lot.
Yeah. Ooh. It's a lot, my queen. It's a lot, but I like it because, truly speaking, we all have our past, as especially women, us as women, I don't know, maybe as kings also, I don't know, maybe I'm talking because I'm a woman. As kings who are also watching the sessions, we have our own insecurities, we also have our own traumas that we are going through. So I think what you are actually saying, it's helping us to understand that, what, let's past heal. And once you are healed from the what we went through from the past, you are able to associate with people. You are able um, to have your children here have their own independency and have their own life without fearing, because it's more like you're not afraid of what happened to you to for your children also and all that. So I think for you to become a parent, you just need to heal from the traumas so that you are able to interact with the other people. You are able to have your, what can I say, your own children which you're going to raise, and also let go when the time to let go happens. I understand, because especially us as mothers, we can be so caring. Sometimes it won't be like you are you don't want to let go. It's more like the love you have for your child is too much, and you don't want them to be hurt. You just taking it like you are just a mother, but you not knowing. For me, it's you now telling me that there is connection of individuation and trauma. Like, these two things can affect how we raise our own children, how we pass our own life to our upcoming children. And it's an advantage for me, because I'm learning it now. I don't have a child yet, so it's an advantage. I know that when my children comes, I know what to do. I also need to heal right now. I need to heal from my past traumas, my childhood traumas, my current traumas. I need to heal from them so that I'll be able to raise these people with grace. So, oh, that was so powerful, my queen. And we are learning as we learning like that. I just want us to just go and talk about our survivor token as I'll come back to you, my queen. Just to let's all the kings and queens who are here understand that no matter what happened to you in the past, no matter what you went through from the past, be it from your mother, from your father, from your parental guidance, whatever, maybe the child, you wherever you were raised, okay, you are able to stand above everything that happened to you. What happened to us does not define who we are. Be it today, be it yesterday, be it childhood, these things does not define who we are. One thing I want you to know is it was supposed to happen. It was written in your contract. My mom said it was written in your contract. It was written in your contract. It was supposed to happen. So you don't need to blame anyone. You need to take action. And why are we saying that? That's why we have said we are survivor. And as we are survivor, what is survivor? Survivor is a token that was dedicated, specially dedicated to women, in honor of women, actually, from all parts of the world. But we are not saying only women. I know in our ecosystem, our kings comes here to support us. I'm not excluding you, kings. I want you to also know that you are a survivor. You are a survivor. It was actually created to educate, inspire, and inform and empower women through blockchain technology. Right now, what is happening here? We are being informed, we are being inspired, we are being empowered to understand these are not something about crypto. No, these are our day-to-day lives. We are facing this, we are seeing this, be it in our families, be it in our neighbors. You can help them also, and help them to maneuver and to navigate life. So why I'm saying this is because I want you to understand that you can raise above any situation. I tell you, any situation. So my mother continues said she remembers who she was in the game change. I want you to understand today that whatever that happened in the past cannot define you. Remember who you are. You are sent to do an assignment. That assignment is the most important thing than anything that can distract you, or anything that can disturb you right now, or whatever that you're going through right now. So what do? We are saying the narrative of woman, if a woman is to celebrate the strength, the resilience, and the resourcefulness of women who overcome challenges and adversities in highlights which highlights their ability to adapt, to persevere, to endure, and to thrive in a difficult situation, be it in the families, be it family cycle, be it in workplaces, be it in crypto, be it in any environment you find yourself in. So, what are we saying? We are saying whatever our queen was teaching us here, those traumas that you're still carrying from the past, those traumas that you are still passing. One thing that I've realized, what you're saying is, there's a time whereby my auntie who raised me, when they quarrel with my dad, she'll come to you, she'll be very angry, she'll come and pour to you, like, she will come and frustrate you, and at the end of the day you'll be like, hey, today so those are traumas, and we don't want to pour them to other people. Let's deal with them, let's heal. If you need to heal from them. Once you heal, you can always come back and face the family, face the work, be it work, face your workmates, face your schoolmates, and all that. So let's learn to heal first, then we can relate with others, because without healing, the pains that we'll be feeling inside, they can boil to somebody else. And if can Jane say, if can there be this, I'm already busting. So at the end of the day, take time, heal. Once you heal, we can always relate. We can now have interaction with our families, our workmates, be it our husband and our wives, be it our sisters. Let's learn to heal. It's now called harnessing our emotions. Let's learn how to harness them. How do we handle that? So I think with that, I also have to come back to you, because it's also a question that I wanted to ask. Is there a hope of change? How do we handle it, my queen?
Is there hope?
Yes.
Yes,
For change.
yes, there is hope. There is hope.
Mm-hmm.
As physical woods, I have a scar over here. I was being crucified by a nail. Long time when I was a little girl. And the wound healed. And now I can see the scar, and I'm okay. I'm not feeling pain after all these years. So is there hope for healing emotional wounds? Yes. And you are mentioning some of the things. Seek for help. If you need help, help is available. Help is available. By the way, if you want to book a session with me, you can just book it online, and I can take you through the session. So look for help. Help is available in therapy. But the first and most important thing is to have awareness and now start the journey of healing from there. What do you want to change in your life? That is what you need to start looking at. And I don't know whether, Queen Deby, you want me to give a conclusion of what I'm saying. But in closing, I would say that it is very important to ask yourself this question. Where are you in your journey's life? The question is, where am I in my journey's life? You need to just take some time and reflect and see what is happening in your life. Take stock. Take stock. Why? Because growth is a process of becoming. There are things that you know. You are not an empty slate. You know something. But there are still things that you can continue knowing. There are still things that you can continue improving in your life. And when you see this gap, then that is when we need to move and take responsibility. So there are some things that are not helpful in the journey of becoming. For instance, if I started all over again, I wouldn't parent my children the way I did. I'll do it differently. And when I have an opportunity, we talk about it and we apologize. And I allow them to tell me what they want, because I know that I was wounded. And I tell them, if I knew, I wouldn't have done these things the way I did them. So there are some things that are not helpful in the journey of becoming. Let's throw them away. We must allow ourselves to shed them off, like the ego. You know, when I got here, I started thinking about the ego and how the ego, after some years, it goes to the mountain. And when it goes to the mountain, it has to remove its what? Feathers, the talons. The talons are the beaks and the whatever. So it has to remove all those things and stay there for 5 months, get renewed, then it has to come back again. And that way the ego lives up to 70 years. So we need to shed off some things that are not working. Do you know, for instance, the trauma that you carry from your childhood can cause you to always be angry, and that is exposing you to now other health issues. So what if you dealt with what is happening and then become a freer person, a happier person to enjoy life? So we must allow ourselves to shed off the old that we have carried. Then we can live a fuller, better life and also allow others to live theirs. Because the reason why I will suffocate someone by controlling them is because I'm not healed. The reason why, as a mother, I will control my son and, suffocate him. There are some parents who will suffocate their daughters. I said about the daughters, but their sons, even when they get married, they don't have the freedom to operate in their houses. The mother is the one who speaks. Did I tell you the example of a certain young man who has taken 2 different girls to his mother? And the mother has said, first she welcomes, treats the girl very nicely, then after some time, the guy is chased away. So you can't come here. You can't come to get married to my son. And the son is now drinking alcohol because he's frustrated. So we can live a fuller, better life when we know that our wounds are taken care of. When we agree, we allow ourselves. David said, search my heart, O Lord, and see if there is any anxious thought within me, and lead me in the way of life everlasting. That should be the prayer of everyone that knows that they have some baggages. Let's allow the Lord to come in and sweep over our lives, our pains, and then we can have the freedom to be able to release the next generation to live a fuller life. And then they can pass that on to the next and the next and the next. Yes, and that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much, Queen Debbie.
Thank you so much, my queen. Today it was really perfect, and it was too deep. It was deep, and these are things that we are facing each and every day, and we are seeing them each and every day. And sometimes don't know how to navigate through them, how you can take a break, how you can heal, how you can because a wounded person can wound somebody. It's more like an angry person can cause somebody to be angry. So we need to understand that by the moment we are angry, or by the moment we are wounded, let's try to be very, very let's be very gentle with ourselves. Let's try to be very gentle to ourselves, because you don't know, you end up hating somebody who is just innocent, who is just trying to help, or trying to do things for you and all that. At the end of the day, it will cause more harm, and because they are hurt now, you are hurt, everyone is hurt now. So we need to understand that we need to heal, as you said, so that we can be able to move with others nicely, and we can be able to interact with people, other people well. Because truly speaking, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't have these wounds. We have them, we are carrying them, but we need to know how to handle them. everybody. If now I started to tell you my own, you'll be like, hey, Queen Debbie. Okay. And then you tell me yours. I said, hey, Queen Jane, are you reading? And Queen Mary, you tell me hers. I'll be like, hey, no, no, no. At the end of the day, you need to know how to deal with them. You need to know how to deal with them. So the more you deal with them, the more you are able to interact with people nicely, and the more you're not able to transfer it to another generation, especially us as mothers, as queens. We are the bearers of our fruits. We bear our children. Let's be able to heal and be able to transfer good fruits to our kings, to our queens, those who are coming to the to the there's a sound, my queen. I don't know, is it your side? A bit of
It,
okay.
it has passed.
Okay, thank you. All right. So yeah, so let's what I can say is, let's just heal from, especially from our childhood wounds. Some of us were raised with single mothers. Some of us were raised with single fathers. Some of us were raised with mothers that were not there actually. And these things may also cause a very, very bad wounds inside of us, which may take long to heal. Our queen said we are all going to have wounds, but they heal. So let's allow these wounds to heal. Once you are healed, you are able to function well. You are able to reflect. You are able to sit down and strategize and do things nicely. So before we go, as our norm, I would like to read our letter from our beautiful Queen Mother, who wrote a letter for the survivor queens and the survivor kings, those who survived. You are a survivor because you are here. You survived something. We all have stories to tell. We all have wounds to show each other, even if they are still fresh, even if they are now scars. We all have those wounds. Just like a child, when we are playing as children, we have some wounds that we okay during childhood. So same applies. So let's heal. Let's listen to this letter which our mom has beautifully crafted for us. This is not only for women. I'm going to read also as kings. Wherever there is a queen, please put yourself as a king if they. So it says, beautiful and brave, determined woman. So you can put your king there. I call you beautiful because you are unique. You are a unique creation. You are beautiful. Your beauty comes from within. I pray that you will I pray that you are valuable, and precious in a special way. I call you brave because you have gone through pain and painful and for unforgettable experiences that have left you with wounds, both visible, invisible. Your bravery has helped you to fight off seen and unseen giants long after they have done their worst. Dearest, beautiful and brave, determined queen or king, I call you determined because of the secret tears that you had to endure through the years and the burning dreams inside of you. I'm super proud of you that you managed to get here today, where you can thrive, explore, where you can be yourself and transform your sorrows into success. Always remember, you are valuable. You are that your value and your worth can never be diminished as long as you continue to stand your ground. Dearest, beautiful and brave, determined queen and king, promise yourself never to settle for less than your worth. And when you finally settle, be brave enough to fix your crown and start all over. Choose daily to never give up upon yourself. Your story will empower others. Keep rising to the challenges that are thrown and at you and keep progressing, discovering your destiny. You are worthy. You are a queen and a king. You are a survivor. So this was a beautiful letter that was written to us with our beautiful mother. She has said, you have fought seen and unseen wounds, you fought them and you are here, you're finally here, and the wounds, they might be have already closed, but what you need to know is you fought bravely. So fix your crowns, kings and queens, fix your crowns and never settle for what for less than you're worth. So Queens and Kings, today was amazing. Well, just want to thank our Queen, Queen Jane. I will also always want to honor you for allowing yourself available and also giving yourself to the community to teach us, to help us to understand this thing as a therapist also. And you are just doing this for free for us, and that's a blessing for us as a community. Those who want to talk to her, please, you can always look for her number and you can talk to her if you need to talk to her private. So as she also said, so queens and kings, I want to honor our Queen Mother and our King Steve for allowing us to come to this platform to just discuss about all these things, as we also talk about our survivor token. Is our survivor token, as you all know, is one of the tokens that we have. We have 3 tokens. We have Bullrun, which is our main token, the survivor, and the killer wolf. So survivor is one which was dedicated to the women, but it's not only for women. Men can also have it because it's very, very cheap. It's very affordable. You need to get them as much as you can, because they are going to also help you to have that financial freedom. Because truly speaking, all this we were talking about, the trauma, what and all that, they can be fixed also with money. They can be fixed with money. So take it upon yourself to just also create wealth for yourself and create a better future for the children and for yourself also, by having an amazing ecosystem that we have. It has a Benny mechanism, retention of liquidity. So all this in one, you need to have 3 of the tokens if you can afford. If you cannot afford, you can choose one you want. Then we can always have a future that we desire through in doing our investments. So I just want to go through our comment section, community, and read your comments. We also have our king in the house. Our king in the house. Thank you so much, King Steve, for always availing yourself also to interact with us and also find time to come and listen to your own students. And that's very, very inspiring, and that's also very, very humbling, because I've never seen a developer who comes to hear from their own community, and you are one of that developer, and you and Queen Mother. So we are humbled to see you here as always. Thank you so much for coming and supporting us. He's also saying happy Friday, kings and queens. I'm very excited about today's session. We raise every time we fall, and we keep moving forward. Thank you, Queens and Queens Jane and Queen Deby, for consistent leadership. Thank you so much, King Steve. Indeed, we raise when we fall and continue moving. That's very true. Thank you so much for such a beautiful comment. Also have our Queen Barbara. She's saying greetings to you all, Bullrun family. I am buckling up my today's live stream session with our host Queen Deby and guest Queen Jane. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed something from what we took. We talked about today. We also have our Queen Mother, as always. She is always here to support us. She always here to support the queens. Thank you so much, Mom, for always coming and supporting us. We love you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you also for taking your time to come and support us. She's also saying greetings, family. Another day of enlightenment with our own queens, Deby and Jane. Obstacles are opportunity to push harder. Rise above your fear and conquer it. Thank you so much, Mommy. And she's saying thanks to you all who joined. Thank you so much, Queen Mother, also for coming in. Indeed, obstacles are opportunities to us. Indeed. Thank you so much, Queen Mother. So she's also saying much thanks to our amazing Queen Jane and Deby for your consistency and dedication to uplift, inspire us as you share your knowledge with us. We love and appreciate you beyond words. Thank you so much, Queen Mother. We love and appreciate you too for always coming here and to support us as your queens. And because this is your products, we are your queens. You help us to have the braveness to also stand tall. So thank you so much for even creating a place for us. We also have Queen Sheila. You, Queen Debbie, and Queen Jane for having a lovely spirit of educating and inspiring us. Thank you, Queen. We appreciate you too for always coming and supporting us. Also have Queen Salome. Queen Salome is saying, she's also saying, Queens, you are blessing us, and we are grateful, waiting to be enlightened. Thank you so much, my Queen. As always, hope you take away something. Queen, Queen Lady. She's saying, "Good morning, my queens. Good morning to you." And I don't know why your comment. It's not coming up. I don't know why. Oh my goodness me. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I wasn't able to. Okay. We also have Queen Naledi. She's also saying, "I'm grateful to be here on time to be empowered." Thank you so much, my queen, for that an amazing comment. We also have Queen Spiwe. Queen Spiwe is saying, "Greetings, Queens, eagerly waiting for another dose of inspiration." Hope you got inspired, Queen Spiwe. Hope you got inspired. We also have Queen Virginia. Queen Virginia is saying, "Thanks, Queens, for this useful session. We cannot ignore this. Is already in our families." Yeah, that's very true. These are things that we are talking about. They are things that we are seeing in our families, and we can also know how to navigate through them, right? So we also have our Queen Aloshi. Queen Aloshi saying, congrats, dear queens. Wonderful job. Thank you so much, my queen. We also have Queen, I think it's King Zafari, saying, "Greetings, family. Thank you, Queen Debbie and Queen Jane. Finally, this is a very important topic, and we appreciate such teachings and inspiration. A lot of us have passed through different types of traumas. That's very true. We all have wounds. We all have wounds. There's no one who doesn't have wounds. We have wounds. Some might have been already healed. Some they might be very fresh. We just know we need to know how to navigate through them. And as our queen has told us, that there are things that we can do and to help ourselves. So we also have Queen Alice in the house. Queen Alice saying, "Greetings, family. Another beautiful Friday to learn from our therapist, Queen Jane and Queen Debbie." I'm becoming a therapist too. Yeah, thank you so much. We also have Queen Kosi. Queen Kosi in the house. She's saying, "Greeting Bullrun community. Thank you, Queen Debbie, for hosting our Queen Jane. Such a powerful teaching and session. Thank you so much, my queen. I hope you take away something from what we've shared with you today." We also have Queen Salome. Queen Salome saying, "I think we should accept the past without letting it define our future." Indeed, my queen, that's what I told you. Like, our past is our past. It's our past. We came through it, but it was not meant to define who we are. So thank you so much. Queen Mary saying, "Wow, great session going on." Thank you so much, Queen Mary. Also, she's also saying, "Thank you, Queen Jane. Thank you, Queen Jane. Very informative." Indeed, thank you so much, Queen Mary. Oh God. Okay. Queen Alice. Wow, thanks, powerful Queen Jane. We are learning, really learning. May God help us. Indeed, we will be helped by God. Thank you, Queen. Queen Mary is also saying, "Powerful." Thank you so much, my queen. We have Queen Alice again. True, Queen Debbie. Our past should not define us. It can never define us. If you want our past to define us, we will be limited, my queen. I'm telling you, we will not be able to rise above the things that we passed through in the past. So let's keep our heads up. So it's Chris Alom again saying, "It's getting more interesting and more educative." Thank you, Queen. Hope you enjoyed. We also have Queen Barbara in the house saying, "Thank you so much, Queen Jane, for today's session. some trauma are unbearable, but with the right information and mindset, healing is vital, vital and necessity for us indeed, my queen. So we also have King Ernest in the house. King Ernest is saying, "Thank you so much, Queens, for such insightful session. Thank you so much, my king." So we also have Queen Alice in the house. Is also saying, "We can only heal if we understand that that we are hurt, accept and be ready to get help from the therapist like our Queen Jane. May God help us." Thank you so much for such a powerful session. Flowers to you, Queen. Thank you so much for the flowers. Flowers back to you, my Queen, for also standing with us as always. You also give yourself to the community. Thank you so much. So she's also saying flowers to our Queen Mother for giving us such opportunity to learn. Indeed, indeed, you know. Oh my goodness. My queen is calling me. Oh my god. Okay, so okay. Sorry. Let me try to see what Queen Jane wants. She's calling me. But anyway, okay. Zafaria is a queen. Okay, I didn't know. You know, your name looks like a man's name. So, okay, my queen. Thank you so much for engaging. So, thank you so much for engaging. Thank you so much for engaging, queens and kings. I think my queen is having a challenge. I'm not so sure what's happening with her. I can't see her anymore. So community, today was an amazing and very informative. Let's take what we learned today and implement them, and that's how we grow. At the end of the day, we are able to leave a legacy for our upcoming generation. So let's just be ourselves and see how we can heal from what is actually disturbing us right now, our traumas, our past, present and future traumas, how we can also deal with them. If you need to talk to somebody, get to talk to somebody so you can be able, don't be alone, so that you can get help. So with that, from me, your host, Deby. Tomorrow we have a session again with our king, King Steve, on our X space as usual. So check out for the links on all our social network, our social handles. So until we meet again tomorrow, and let's not forget to engage with all our Twitters. They are all out in our Twitter space, also in our Twitter, and also on our group. Let's just engage with them. So until we meet again tomorrow on Twitter space, it's a bye-bye for now. Thank you so much for all for coming today.